call to order the Springboro Community City School District Board of Education meeting on December 7th, 2013. Mr. Porter, roll call.
Cool,
Yes.
Regano,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Petroni,
Here.
Coles.
Here. Okay, would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving right ahead. Agenda item 1.3, I need a motion to approve, or excuse me, to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Regano and Mr. Miller. Okay, any discussion? Looks like it's complete. All right, roll call, please.
Regano,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Petroni,
Yes.
Coles.
Yes, agenda item 1.4, approval of December 3rd, 2013 meeting minutes. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Regano, I need a second, please. I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Regano,
Yes.
Coles,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Petroni,
Abstain.
pardon?
Abstain.
I wasn't here.
Do me a curveball.
Is that it? Is that everybody? Did we get it?
Yeah.
All right. 1.5, approval of December 6th, 2013 special meeting minutes. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Regano, I need a second.
Second.
That's Mrs. Cole. Any discussion?
Yeah, just one minor correction. On item 13-242 on the vote, Mr. Regano also voted yea on that. There's probably an error by the treasurer pro tem that evening. I neglected to put that down, but
Forgot to count himself.
if you can make that correction.
So you voted also, is that what you're saying?
Yes, I did it.
Voted yea.
So correct the minutes.
Okay, any further? Roll call, please.
Regano,
Yes?
who made the second there?
Mrs. Cole.
Cool,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Petroni,
That was the sixth. Yes.
Coles.
Yes. Okay, agenda item 2.1, Springboro Education Association report. Is there anybody here representing SEA? Okay, having none. 2.2, Springboro Classified Employees Association. Anybody here from SCEA? 2.3, public participation. There's nobody scheduled. And 2.4, public participation on any agenda item. Is there anybody who would like to speak on an agenda item? Okay. 2.5, acknowledgement of departing board members. Mr. Petrie.
If I could get the three of you to come down front, it would be greatly appreciated. We have a little going away gift.
Do we have to?
Absolutely. Come on down front. Let's see here. We can start, this is cool. As all of you know, the three board members-elect will, this is their last board meeting, unless, of course, they schedule another board meeting for some odd reason. But this shouldn't be their last board meeting tonight. Never know, I'll just put it out there, they might do that. But nonetheless, wanted to take this time on behalf of Springboro Schools to thank them, first and foremost, Mr. Don Miller, Don has actually been a school board member for 8 years. So he has been here through some of the growth, through some of the change, through a very up economy to a down economy, and throughout all that, he's really made it, and working with him.
Watched you here the first time, watched you leave, watched you. Maybe there's a trend there.
Yeah, you never know. But nonetheless, in working with Don, it's been interesting. When working with board members, you get to know them. It's like family members, the good, the bad, the ugly. And Don is very involved, very committed to the kids at Springboro, and I think the decisions he's made over the 8 years he has been there will continue to bless this district in the future. So Don, with that said, thanks very much. Next, we have Wendy Cool. Wendy, the lady of guts. In the midst of a storm, she decided, why not? Let's go be a school board member and apply for the vacant position. And I have to say, in getting to know Wendy, she's very professional. And she always, her questions to me were directed about, well, talk to me about what this is going to do for the kids. And you've seen her multiple times in meetings, somewhat take us to task on, talk to me about what we're doing for kids. Very poignant discussions about what's going to happen to the kids once they graduate, what are we doing to prepare them. And I think that's what board members need to focus on. It has been much appreciated. So in your short time, thank you for what you've done for Springboro. Dr. Kelly Coles. Kelly has done 4 years in her tour of duty here. In 4 years. And not only is she been here for 4 years, but she has also been the board president. And the one thing I have truly respected about Kelly and working with her, regardless if you agree or not, she would come to a meeting, she would state how she felt about things, even when she knew perhaps someone might come up against her. And at a time, it's easy to take that passive road and perhaps not say how you feel. She earned my respect for coming in and saying what she believed in, standing up for it. I think there's a lot to be said about a person that will do this. So thank you very much for all you've done. Here is one plaque, and here's the board president plaque as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all, much appreciated.
You dear.
Must be the fun.
You are very blingy, furry, you got it all going on here. I like it. Thank you. Let's move on to, 3.1, official levy results from Board of Elections. What do we got there?
I placed it on the agenda, item of information.
Yeah, is your mic on? Yeah, it looks like it is. Can't hear it.
You having trouble hearing me?
Yeah. I can hear it, just talk. Speak a little louder, I guess.
Okay, I can make it. Need a mic.
There you go.
Okay, so, as I was saying, that's final certification for the Board of Elections. The next item, based on that, the county auditors asked that we inform him to collect that tax for next year, because he did not certify it at the time of the budget certification based on the outcome. So, we need to do that.
Okay, so we don't have an action item on 3.1, we do have an action item on 3.2.
That is correct.
So we do need a motion to approve 3.2, the resolution directing the county auditor to levy a tax outside of a 10 mil limitation is authorized by a vote. So I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
It's Mr. Petroni. I need a second.
Second?
Mr. Regano. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Porter? So this is simply asking the auditor to collect the taxes.
As a result of the
Giving him
vote.
authorization to collect the taxes of the levy we just passed.
Correct.
Gotcha.
That's a reduced rate.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else? Okay, roll call, please.
Petroni,
Yes.
Regano,
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Coles.
Yes. 3.3?
3.3 is the financial information And I did amend it from the original posting. We had a spending plan in there, it should have been in there dated 2012, I think we kind of pointed it out to me. Any other questions? The thing was tracking exactly where I would expect it to be at this time of the year, based upon the information I had. There's nothing unusual in there, but we're happy to answer any questions about any topic.
I need a motion to approve the November 2013 financial statements.
So moved.
Mr. Petroni, I need a second. Second. Mrs. Cole. Any discussion? Roll call.
Petroni?
Yes.
Cool?
Yes.
Regano?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Coles?
Yes. 4.1, policy revision, second reading.
Yes, this is for approval of the policies that are listed here.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the
So,
policies. Go ahead.
so,
Okay, Mr. Regano, I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Petroni, any discussion? Roll call.
Let's go paper. Who made the motion second?
I made a motion.
Second.
Okay. Regano?
Yes.
Petroni?
Yes.
Cool?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Coles?
Yes. Okay, 4.2, approval to renew an administrative contract. Need a motion?
This is for Jenny Harlow.
So moved.
It's Mr. Petroni, I need a second.
Second.
And that's Mr. Miller. Any discussion? And roll call.
Petroni?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Cool?
Yes.
Regano?
Yes.
Coles?
Yes. Okay, 4.3, approval of license agreement with Neola for administrative guidelines development service. I need a motion to approve 4.3.
So moved.
It's Mr. Regano, I need a second. I will second. Any discussion?
Just reiterate our discussion that we had in work session. No need to rush through trying to develop administrative guidelines for very well as policies. I think that we can probably determine the pecking order and we do want those guidelines to line up well with our policies. We have a number of policies that are customized for what the Neola templates might provide. I know you're aware of all that. I just wanted to reiterate that proceed as at the pace that is going to achieve the best result.
And we said January, next thing you know, it'll be June, we're still talking about, so.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Regano?
Yes.
Coles?
Yes.
Cool?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Yes.
4.4, approval of donations, and we'll start with approval to accept a donation of $1,000 gift cards from Dreyer, Brothel, Mann and Schultz for their annual safety calendar contest. One gift card was presented to Springboro Junior High and one gift card was presented to Springboro High School. I need a motion to approve that donation.
So moved.
Mr. Petroni, I need a second. Second. And Mrs. Cole. Discussion? Roll call?
I would like to say that a copy of the calendar, I placed them in the back with 2 months, actually. 1 month went to a junior high student and another month went to a high school student. So pretty cool calendar, you might want to check that out. We have an outstanding art department, it shined through on their particular calendar.
And there's some honorable mentions.
Yes. Pretty neat.
Oh, that is it.
Mhm.
Roll call.
Petroni?
Yes.
Cool?
Yes.
Regano?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Coles?
Yes. Hey, 4.5, approval of donation of 6 family passes for Springboro Youth Basketball valued at $25 each. one for each board member and one for the superintendent. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. O'Donnell, I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Good. Discussion? Roll call?
Regano,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Petroni,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes. Okay, 4.6, the Michael Tepe Memorial Fund, what is that?
Michael Tepe was a student here in Springboro, unfortunately passed away in a car accident in Cincinnati somewhat recently. And this was a memorial fund set up in his name.
And do we know that, is it something that's given to seniors, is it for a scholarship?
Well, and Al probably can, it's actually broken into different categories. I know Al worked through setting it up.
the family had indicated either that in honor of a student, either athletics, special needs. So if you see, I provided you the list of who contributed and what their designations were. So it's athletics, special needs, and combinations. So we'll share with the family, and there'll be discussions about each department, how they want to do.
Right. Okay, did we have a motion? Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Regano, I need a second.
Second.
Mrs. Cole, any discussion?
Just is the district going to be managing this? Is this coming to the district as part of using our C3 status, getting these donations? Is that what's occurring, or is there some other?
No, it was just the family's designation is coming to the district.
So the $3,100 will be donated to the district with these specifications of the special ed department or the leader of special ed or athletics or unspecified would actually have the ability of utilizing these resources.
Correct. And I would envision that there would be a conversation with the parents of Mr. Tappy as to what, as we have a proposal, that they would have input into, yeah, that's a good use of it, but it's donated to the board.
Interesting. Thank you.
And it came up real quick, as you can imagine, tragic death like this, I'm gonna call.
Yeah, no, it's very touching, just to make sure we have some guidelines from the parents so we can make sure that.
Right, we'll share the list of donations, and there were some
Sure.
personal notes that came in. And we may still receive more, but this is what we received up to now.
If people want to donate, where do they go to?
They can just send it to the Board of Education and a memorial for Mr. Tepe.
Thanks for setting that up. Appreciate it.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Regano,
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Petroni,
Yes.
Cole.
Yes. Okay, 4.7, approval of donation. Approval of donation of $500 to the high school boys basketball program from Victory Wholesale Group. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. The Cantor family on behalf of Troy Lewis. Need a motion to approve that donation?
So moved.
Okay, that's Mr. Petroni. I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Regano. Discussion? Roll call?
Petroni,
Yes.
Regano,
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Cole.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, 5.1, approval of personnel items. Mrs. Vincent?
We have 13 items tonight, mostly are, actually we have one, our head custodian. Is going to be at Clear Creek with the retirement of the current head custodian, and then we have various substitutes and a couple of athletic workers to be approved this evening.
Okay, great, thank you. I need a motion to approve the personnel items.
So moved.
Mrs. Cole, I need a second. I'm sorry, did I hear that? Mr. Miller? Any discussion? Roll call?
Cool,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Regano,
Yes.
Petroni,
Yes.
Opposed?
Yes. Okay, 5.2, approval of agreement for communications services. Did you want to say something?
I don't need to.
Okay.
If everyone has read over the contract.
Yes. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Regano, I need a second.
Second.
That was Mr. Petroni. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Did you have something?
I just wanted to add that I love it when, that updates on Facebook to subscribe to it, but I don't think that Karen can necessarily be at all places at once. Like, would there be like a centralized box or email box or something that people could, if they happen to be at a volleyball game and she happens to be at a music concert or whatever, that those things could be passed through to her, just from the standpoint of representing.
Yeah, I can answer that at my own. It's Springboro Facebook at springboro.org.
And we've got a lot of positive feedback from our Facebook website.
Or to Borough News.
So folks who want to report something to be posted on Facebook should email one of those two addresses? Is that right?
Yes,
Borough News.
Borough News or Springboro Facebook.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. I just think sometimes people, well, how do we get that covered, or, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, our Facebook website is just for kids, things happening for kids. We don't get into any business or anything like that. It's the positive things happening for kids in Springboro. We've got a lot of positive feedback all the time.
Great.
Are you going to tweet anytime soon?
Well, one step at a time.
Roll call, please.
Regano,
Yes.
Petroni,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Opposed?
Yes. 6.1, approval to begin the process of school bus bidding for the 2013-2014 school year. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
It's Mr. Regano. I need a second.
Second.
Who was that?
Me.
Mr. Petroni? Okay. Any discussion?
I think I know the answer to this, so I'm not going to even state it as a question. This is part of the bus purchase plan that we started, I guess, about a year ago.
About a year ago, that's correct. We purchased 11 buses last year, this is for the body this year.
And so it's just a continuation of that program.
That's correct.
The other question too is that we're not using debt on this purchase, correct?
No,
This is all
it'll be a
out of-
straight out purchase. It's in the budget for the money for these. I checked with Mr. Porter before we got this far.
Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Regano,
Yes.
Petroni,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Opposed?
Yes. Okay, 7.1, we have approval of donation of the Freedom Shrine plaques from the Exchange Club of Dayton. And I had asked Mr. Eric Price if he would come talk to us for just a few minutes about that. But those of you, I think most people in here are pretty familiar with what that is. If not, I thought we'd have a plaque here. We don't have a plaque or two. There are a grouping of 30 plaques that the Exchange Club has donated. They're the original or copies of original documents, the founding documents for this country. The plan is to develop a Freedom Shrine wall to put the plaques on. And Mrs. Dauber and other committee of a student or two, a community member or two, and then a few faculty are joining together to form this wall. And they're I think, designing it, in the midst of designing the wall that all these plaques will go on. But the Exchange Club delivered the plaques. Don't have one here, sorry, Eric, to show you guys. But they're beautifully, and you can maybe describe them for everybody. They're on a black background, on a wood background, something.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead.
something-
So I'm
go
Greg
ahead.
Price, president of the Exchange Club of Dayton. We are mostly south suburbs and east suburbs of Dayton as far as our membership. One Springboro member. Some of our members met with Dr. Coles, and offer an opportunity. It's like something that the entire Springboro community could support and rally around, and that is the Freedom Shrine. This is a way of honoring not only our American heritage, but all the sacrifice made on behalf of that heritage. So, you know, I think we have an opportunity for something that the entire community can rally behind. At some point, we look forward to a dedication ceremony. You know, you have a junior ROTC program here, so that could be a splendid ceremony with a splendid opportunity for some very positive publicity for the district. What we have delivered already are the 30 documents or 30 reproductions. These are on a particle board, half-inch thick, so each one is fairly heavy, with high gloss, black matte, gold edge. It's and individual reproductions of about 30 of the documents, since the Constitution takes 2 plaques, that the number of plaques is higher than the number of documents. These originally, most of them toured the country on something called the Freedom Train in 1947. There was suspicion on behalf of some Republicans that this was a Harry Truman attempt to boost his election chances for 1948. The only other political controversy surrounding the Freedom Train, the American Communist Party didn't like it. Our archives sit in Toledo. I checked them out. The Communist Party got about 2 column inches in the Toledo Blade, and for the most part, everyone throughout the nation, from local papers to National Geographic and Time and Look magazine, just gave tremendous support and tremendous public publicity for the Freedom Train effort. And Exchange Club, as a national project, took that forward, and so you'll have an installation. After 50 years, you've caught up with Oakwood, so this is congratulations. We're still getting positive comments. The 50th reunion recently happened at Oakwood, and one of the guys is a university, not an archivist, but works in a library on display work, and said, you know, it was because of that display in Oakwood High School that he chose his line of work. So hopefully this will be a very positive experience for all your students, and an opportunity to rededicate you know, everyone that will pass through those halls, which are required for what, 3 or 4 years of the high school experience, to rededicate themselves to the heritage that we all share as Americans. So we're delighted to be able to make this available to you, and look forward to the dedication and all the work that's, I know that Geld Offer is hard at work coordinating. So thank you very much all. So we're terribly pleased to offer this, and we look forward to working with people.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we've got the 30 documents, and they're in Mrs. Dauber's room, is that right? The plaques are in Mrs. Dauber's room?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're here on the property? We could probably go see them if we wanted to. We'll ask Mrs. Dauber. Okay, sounds good. I need a motion to approve the donation of the Freedom Shrine plaques from the Exchange Club of Dayton.
So moved.
That's Mr. Regano. I need a second?
Second.
It's Mr. Petroni. Any discussion? I would like to say that when they developed their plan for this shrine, Mr. Price, how many other schools have done this Freedom Shrine?
We don't have a good count.
Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking they could go get examples from some of these other places,
Well, it's-
Sinclair and
Yeah,
Centerville. And
Sinclair has one of the best displays in the nation.
that'd be a good idea, but I'm thinking that there may be some costs involved. There may be chances for either people or businesses to sponsor. And then when we have the unveiling ceremony, then those sponsors would get recognized. So if there are some costs, maybe it's for some woodworking around the wall, maybe it's for the construction of a wall, maybe they're gonna use a current wall, I don't know. But we might invite some of our business partners, business friends, to participate in the unveiling of this wall when it gets done. If there's some costs involved, they could make a pledge perhaps. So roll call, please.
Pagano,
Yes.
Petroni,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Coles.
Yes. And 7.2, Warren County Career Center appointment process. Is there anybody that wants to talk about that?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, let's go ahead and put it on the table, and then I can have you describe it. Do it that way. Need a motion to approve? Is there something to approve there?
Well, yeah,
Something more?
yeah, potentially, but I think we
Okay.
need to discuss that first.
Go ahead.
What's attached to board docs are the original MOUs that the Warren County Career Center sent us that we have talked about before, and also a resolution that I drafted related to that. And we talked about at the last meeting, whether it was last meeting, or maybe it was the meeting before, we tabled that Warren County MOU and its resolution for the reasons we discussed them, mainly that the MOU, the process that it described for appointing people and collaborating with other districts was so cumbersome that it was impractical. Dave and I and our board member-elects were on a phone call this weekend with Maggie Hess, who's the superintendent of the Career Center. And she explained that the intent of the resolution was just to make sure that our board understood the requirements that have changed with respect to the criteria and the qualifications that those board members now need to have according to law. So what I did is I took those MOUs and I drafted a resolution which basically restates the requirements or the provisions in the MOU, except that I took out the piece about collaboration between the districts, just because that's cumbersome. And in place of that, I suggested that our board should just appoint somebody that meets the qualifications. And then they would know, if we pass this resolution, then they would know that that candidate from Springboro, at least in the Springboro Board of Education's opinion, meets all the qualifications for that position. So I guess we have a couple of options here. We can pass the original MOUs if we want. We could pass the resolution that I drafted, which perhaps I'll just read here in a second, or we can do nothing. There's the MOU or the resolution's not a requirement. The only requirement is that when people appoint people to the Warren County Career Center Board, that they need to meet the criteria. So let me read the resolution that I drafted, which is really just taking the meat and potatoes out of what the Career Center says. So whereas the Springboro Board of Education recognizes that effective September 2013, Ohio law, specifically ORC 3311.19, is changed with respect to eligibility to serve on the board of a joint vocational school district, and that as an entity authorized to appoint members to the Warren County Career Center Board of Education, the Springboro Board must assist the Warren County Career Center Board in assuring compliance with the law. And whereas the Warren County Career Center Board agrees to provide labor market data to Springboro Board of Education to assist with the appointment process, be it resolved that the Springboro Board of Education acknowledges that the term of appointment for members to the WCC Board of Education is 3 years. That was one of their stipulations, one of the stipulations in the law, and agrees to appoint members to the Warren County Career Center Board of Education that reside within or employed or are employed within the territory of the Warren County Career Center as defined by the geographic footprint of the associated school district served by the Warren County Career Center, and agrees to appoint members to the Warren County Career Center Board of Education that represent the diversity of employers in the territory served by the Career Center, and to act immediately upon discovery of any non-compliance to remedy the situation, and agrees to appoint members to the Career Center Board of Education who have experience as a chief executive officer, chief financial officer, human resource manager, or other business, industry, or career counseling professionals who are qualified to discuss the labor needs of the region with respect to the regional economy, and who are qualified to consider the state's workforce needs with an understanding of the skills, training, and education needed for current and future employment opportunities in the state. And acknowledges that it may give preference to individuals who have served as members of a joint vocational school district business advisory committee that meet the requirements of ORC 3311.19, and agrees to share documentation of the qualifications of appointees with the Warren County Career Center Board of Education. So hopefully you recognized from that I just simply took out the clauses that their MOU provided and just put it in the form of a resolution. I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution, just because if we didn't do anything, the issue's still open. If we adopt the MOU, the issue of how we coordinate with the other school districts is still out there, and at least this resolution would provide direction to both the Career Center Board and to our board. So I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution.
The one you just read.
The one I just read.
When you're right. I will second the motion to adopt the resolution. Any discussion?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, please. No, please.
Somebody,
The thing that confused me when I wasn't here at the last meeting, we discussed it, but it seemed odd now that we would be collaborating as a district and trying to figure out how to structure their board. I think that's what their MOU sort of alluded to. So I wasn't comfortable with that direction previously, so it just felt unusual that we were gonna help. I think we're gonna help comply anyway by appointing the right person, but it just felt odd that we would have to do some sort of.
Sounds like they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't, something like that. So I'm comfortable with the resolution that you presented.
Kelly, since you currently served on Warren County and ours, I mean, as far as the pros to having a current board member within the Springboro Board of Education, what kind of cons do you see if it was somebody appointed outside of, I mean, obviously I'm kind of selfish in that I want board, this is a huge commitment to just be on the Springboro Board of Education, so I want as much time and effort devoted between the two remaining re-elect that, what's the con if it was somebody that wasn't on?
Yeah, I rarely, if ever, used what we do here to be a model or any contributing factor to decisions that were made there. And in fact, it's just a separate entity that some of our students choose to go to. I didn't feel a connection that they had to know the goings-on inside Springboro to make decisions over there. I don't think that was important to the decision-making.
And let me just be clear. This resolution doesn't preclude us from nominating a current board.
Right, I just
board
was,
member, but-
while we still had Kelly here.
Yeah, it doesn't preclude us from doing that. Basically, what we're doing is agreeing that we're gonna appoint somebody that meets the qualifications. And,
Good follow along.
yeah, and whether we need the resolution or the MOU, I don't know that we do. The problem from the Career Center, just for anybody who didn't catch the original discussion, the problem for the Career Center is that they have to have, the majority of their board has to meet these qualifications. So the reason that they hatched the MOU was because all of the various school districts that appoint members to their board. Well, the only way the Career Center could have some assurance that all of these school districts are gonna appoint enough people that meet the qualifications is for them to get us to collaborate with each other. But the logistical problems with collaborating, I mean, we would have to appoint somebody, each of those 6 school districts.
Oh.
Seven.
Hold on.
However
There's
many there
6.
are.
Yes.
I mean, we would have to, each of those districts
Hardly
would have
ever.
to appoint somebody to represent them. Then all of the school districts would have to collect appointee information. These representatives would have to get together and decide on the mix. And then those would, I guess, go back to the respective boards, and the boards would then have, I don't know, some process like that would have to happen. All the while, boards are transitioning to new Board of Educations, and the people who are going to vote on it haven't even been sworn into office yet. So it's just a logistical problem. my solution was, let's just say that, let's just let them know that Springboro's gonna appoint somebody that meets the qualifications.
Gotcha. Okay, any further discussion? 6 school districts, 7 board members, there we go, because they rotate the 2. Does that make sense? 1 school district gets 2 people, so they have an odd number of board members. Roll call, please.
Regano,
Yes.
Coles,
Yes.
McCronig,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Okay, 7.3, approval of treasurer's contract. I want to say we want to go back to, we have extended an offer to treasurer. This is Miss Tara Floyd. And we'd like an approval on that contract tonight. So like a motion to approve the new treasurer's contract.
So moved.
Mrs. Cole, I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Petroni, any discussion?
Go ahead.
Please.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that we were able to entice Tara to apply. I think by far and away, she was the strongest candidate we talked to. I think, what impressed me was one, she strives for teamwork. And number 2, she's tough as nails. So, Mr. Petrie, you're not gonna get away with anything, so don't think that behind that mild-mannered approach and collaborative approach and they're trying to get by you, that you're going to be able to, in any way, get anything past her.
I'm used to it, I can't get anything past Al either. Been trying.
Or your wife, or.
But, in my mind, it was a no contest. Tara's experience in Loveland, where she's currently the assistant treasurer, she does everything but sign I think she probably even signs some of the documents as the assistant treasurer. But, she's run all aspects of their treasurer's office, and I have no doubt that she's going to step in here and be a great asset to the team. So welcome aboard, Tara.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Tara. What, so 6 months ago, 5 months ago, we started this search, and unfortunately, I probably had more experience being on this board at selecting treasurers than I probably would have liked. I've done this 3 times now. And I would say hands down, I probably interviewed 15, 20, looked at maybe 55, 60 resumes, and I'd say hands down, Tara was the best candidate that I personally had the opportunity to interview. So I know she'll do great things here, and I'm just hoping that Springboro welcomes her with open arms.
I agree with that. I think her resume was very exciting to look at from the standpoint of not, so many times you see people that really jump around and move from job to job. Tara presented herself well, was very likable. The people skills, I think she's going to get along great in our treasurer's office and hopefully stick around for a while so that we can transition and really kind of move the ball forward. We continue to have this turnover. It makes it very difficult to continue to progress. So.
I think what was really most exciting to interview Ms. Floyd was the fact that as you look at the district over the last couple of years and some of the challenges that have raised its head from audit findings and reports that we still are addressing, I think listening to the work that she's done in Loveland, it's going to be very refreshing, I believe, to the entire department to have her utilize her expertise and her background and just bring it here to Springboro and kind of help you as part of your administrative team really elevate everything in the areas of finance and budget and forecast and operations. So welcome to Springboro. I do as well echo the fact that I hope the community welcomes you with open arms, and that you, whatever we can do or whatever I can do to help, you in your transition and onboarding, please let the superintendent know or let us know, and we'll try to do the best we can to effectively work.
And I agree, I think it's a great match. I think you'll do a fabulous job. Very confident that going forward, we're in good hands. Okay, I need, is that it?
We need to vote.
I know.
I'm pretty sure you don't know where they are.
Roll call, please.
Stool,
Yes.
McCombie,
Yes.
Regano,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Coles.
Yes.
Unanimous.
7.4, comments. Public announcements, future considerations, we'll put them all together. And Mrs. Cole?
I am very excited. This is my last board meeting. It has been a learning experience. This was the first board meeting that I left for, that my kids all came and gave me a great big hug and were excited that it was my last. It's been a lot of effort, but I've enjoyed the people that I've gotten to meet. I think our district is poised for success. We have a great central office. I've enjoyed getting to know each one of you. I appreciate your hard work and dedication. Our principals, our teachers, just hearing the stories from my kids, it's exciting to hear how much passion, watching the athletic teams, the buses going to school in the snowy weather, everything that, we have. It's a great place to raise your kids, so thank you.
Thank you.
So I would just like to thank the community for the opportunity to have served the students of Springboro for the last 8 years. It's been interesting. We'll leave it at that. But there's a lot of great things happening here in Springboro, and I'm honored to have been able to be a part of it. But I just think that just make sure that we all remember who we really work for here. Kids. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Dr. Coles, Mr. Miller, school, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to wrestle occasionally at some of our decisions, fight occasionally, but I personally believe the district is in a better place today because of the debates that we had, and when the record is looked at, I don't really think the five of us, in many of the important issues for kids, we were really that far apart, if that apart at all. I know there may have been some directional ways that we should have been different, and, I'll be the first to admit that delivering things and speaking sometimes can be a challenge. And so as we learn through that, I appreciate what I learned from all three of you. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side of the table occasionally, show back up with some of your opinions or something.
Oh, wait a minute now. Charlie, hold the bell.
I'm putting in the pre-race right now.
Yeah.
Every board.
2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is, just,
Take
you
my
know.
3 minutes.
Randall's gonna be disappointed then.
Yeah, really. Your kids, think of your kid. Regano?
Well, Wendy, Kelly, and Don, it has been a privilege to serve with you guys. You don't know what this job entails until you sat in these shoes. And, I've said before, it's the most difficult elected office, more difficult than state representative or any of those state offices, maybe more difficult than even the governor's job. With all of the priorities that we have to balance between budget programs, employees, kids, we're the ones that have to, I guess, stand in the face of Mama Bear and her cubs. Sometimes we get between that, and that certainly makes for interesting times. We've covered a lot of ground together. I think we've accomplished a lot. And, some of the things that just popped to mind, I think we've got people now asking the question about what should Springboro's academic yardstick be? We think that we should be something beyond what the state yardstick is. And it's this board that moved that question. We've got more kids taking college level classes than we've ever had before. They're taking that education to the next level, and they're saving money at the same time, thousands of dollars on their college education. Just a couple meetings ago, we honored a whole bunch of kids, a huge number of kids for their superb performance on the ACT. In other times, a lot of these things that we've taken on, they take over a year to implement. And, credit to the administrative team that we've got here. Things like these online classes that are going to start in January, those things are moving forward at a good expeditious pace. This is your legacy, and it's during this time that the transformation occurred. As a district, we refocused on what kids need to be successful, and we expanded their opportunities. And not only did we do that, we did it with a balanced budget. In fact, we even gave some money back to our taxpayers. And so that's a legacy that I think a lot of school board members would like to be able to claim across the state. And I doubt that few will ever be able to do that. And they can't because it requires a unique vision and leadership. And we're going to miss that leadership that you guys helped provide here. And for that, Springboro owes you a great, tremendous amount of appreciation. So good luck, and on behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your leadership.
And I wanted to say I've had a really fun and exciting 4 years, but I can't know. I can say that. I've had a great time, but I am one of those mama bears. I've always felt that I was one of those mama bears. And I'm thinking of the children. Every time my children bring in a friend of theirs, I instantly love that child. As soon as they come in my home, as soon as they hang out with my kids, they become one of mine. I've offered many of them to adopt many of them. I told them not to tell their parents because they'd probably be upset with me, but I love these children. There is absolutely no doubt, and I have come to their defense and wanted to make sure that we're giving them everything these taxpayers believe they're paying for. And I think over the last 4 years, we have done that. And I think 90% of the time, we have been united on everything from the get-go. I don't think we disagree much because it's always been, the focus has always been about what's best for the children academically, socially, spiritually, in every way we can. And I think it's good to keep questioning those topics. Even if they cause some people to cause the newspaper, maybe it's a dialogue that needs to happen, and maybe it's a dialogue that happens here, maybe it happens out there, but it never hurts to have the conversation, and I've said that from the get-go. Can't be afraid of the conversation. We need to keep asking, are we doing the right thing for these kids? I have made it vocal across the state that Common Core is not the right thing for these kids. And I guess you can trust me or not trust me, but I've done the hundreds, if not thousands of hours of homework on this subject. It is not the right thing for Springboro schools. It is lowering the bar. Our children who got a D in gifted services need more than Common Core. They need more than what we're offering now. And please be a part of that solution over the next 4 years. To take those gifted students, which supposedly 40% of our students are, and take them up. Common Core brings them down. Let's not settle for that. Let's take those textbooks and maybe not even buy them, but look for something that is challenging to these kids because they're ready for it. They love it. These kids are sitting there thirsty to be educated. Teachers that talk to me, and yes, some of them do, but teachers that talk to me mention that they love working here. If they have worked at any other district across the state, they love coming to Springboro because they're so surprised that they walk into a classroom and that student is sitting there ready to learn. And that's not what they see at other districts. So please be a part of raising the bar. Please be a part of the future. I will arrange to speak sometimes, I'm sure. I will keep questioning. Are you thinking of this? Are you thinking of the kids first? But yes, we all remember, and I think that's why we all got along so well, that they were our first priority. No political agenda. The children first. We've said it, and I think we've practiced it. I'm very proud to have been a part of those decisions over the last 4 years. And thanks for everybody for coming and listening and being a part of that. Sometimes it was easy, sometimes it wasn't, it doesn't matter. as long as our conversations were about what's best for the children. Thanks. Okay, we are going to take a 10-minute recess and then reconvene in the library for work session. Okay, does everybody have their mics on? Does everybody have their microphone on?
Yes.
No. Hello?
Okay, we're going to start with 10.1, committee reports. And how about Mr. Petroni, since you haven't been here in a while, any news to report?
No.
Okay, Mr. Regano?
Policy committee has not met. Since our last meeting.
It's your gift. It's my Christmas gift to you. Going away.
Gee, was that-
I did bring back the safety committee.
I vote to table that.
It's not an active committee anymore.
Okay, we'll move on because nothing to report. 10.2, update on capital needs projects and timelines for the rest of 2014 and all of FY15. Mr. Canal.
Yes, we met, several months ago with, a month and a half ago, I guess, with the Budget Finance Committee and presented our capital needs plan. We'll be doing, about $2 million over the next 2 years in capital needs things that we've got set out. So the critical things that we plan to get done this year, the rest of the partial roof replacement at Clear Creek Elementary. You got another microphone? That's just easy.
At least he's awake.
John, you're loud enough.
I know I'm loud enough. I got a big mouth. What can I say? We're looking at our compressor replacement at Jonathan Light. We've got several asphalt patching, seal coating, and striping that needs to be done throughout the district. Some things with the doors and all that, building envelope issues. So we're doing a little bit of those things as we go. One of the things, now that we have a new treasurer on board, I'll be taxing her immediately. Because one of the things that we started to look at when I first was on was whether we're going to do a House Bill 264 project or a design build type of project that can maximize the money that has been set aside in the budget by doing a bond thing and all that. Unfortunately, right when we got into that, Tracy left and Al came on board, and Al was very good at that, but we didn't want to burden him with dealing with bonds. He really wanted to do it. He twisted my arm, but I didn't let him do it. So we've got about $4 or $5 million worth of stuff that needs to be done in the district within the next 5 or 6 years. Right now, we have about $3 million budgeted for that. So there's a big disparity there of what we've got. So I've already started the process of trying to do some of these things, but now that we have a treasurer on board, once she gets settled in January, my plan was to go ahead and start doing the process for getting some of these things designed and then get ready to be bid out, because if we want to do some asphalting thing, we want to do roof things, we need to hit the streets with bids no later than end of March, beginning of April, in order to get the best price and have some flexibility on doing what we're doing. That's one of the reasons why last year we had the problem with the asphalting that we did, because we were under the gun and school's opening and we're finishing up the asphalting after school opening actually. So we need to get it on the budget, on the agenda, and I know that 3 of you won't be here, but you guys have been through a lot of this, and so we'll be keeping you informed as we go. I'll give you a call, I'll send you an email, text, no tweet, I'm on Twitter, so. So those are the things that we're looking at. For fiscal year 15, what I'm looking at doing is, we've got a partial roof replacement at SI that will need to be done. We've done some emergency repairs there that should get us by for another year or so, year and a half. We've got we need to invest a lot of money on the safety and security stuff, including some updating of some camera systems and cameras in all the schools, additional lighting that will need to be done, tennis courts that need to be resurfaced and things like that. So that's really kind of a 20,000 foot overview of what we need to do in the next 2 years for capital needs. The money's been put in the budget for these things, but like I said, as we go along, hopefully, working with Tara and as she gets her feet wet, we'll be able to do a little bit more, maybe with some bonding stuff that we can maximize the dollars that we have set aside with some financing capabilities to do a little bit more than even what we've got here.
Are you saying that you do have money budgeted for most of your list, your to-do list over the next couple of years?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Including the ceiling and?
Well, actually, believe it or not, we've actually improved things a little bit, but that's a new leak so it might have moved from there over to there, because that one was leaked occasionally. But what it's doing, it's running down. But unfortunately, one of the problems with all the snow and ice that we've had, all that stuff sits up there, and then as it melts and things happen, then you end up with finding a lot of leaks you didn't know you had. And then we were talking about 1 to 2 inches of rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So between all that, we'll be in Monday, and there'll be a lot of ceiling tiles.
So it is a roof leak and not like a sprinkler pipe leak?
Yes, these are definitely roof leaks. Yeah, we've been tracing this one ever since I've been here. So we've brought in, our AA Sturgill to try to track it down. And they got one stop, but there's something else.
We don't have any mechanical units up there that are,
That's not what's causing
It's
that
not
one.
causing
It's
that.
definitely a roof leak.
So they're just having trouble finding where the source of the?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, above this, there's, the way the rest of the building juts out, above here I think there's some flashing stuff going on also.
I think if I recall correctly, we have $3.7 million set up in the 5-year forecast.
Correct.
Right now.
Right.
That was roughly, I think we agree that the budget that we put together that was done for $60,000 that created a menu that gives kind of footprint and then had numbers penciled into it was a set of factors that maybe the roof costs us, maybe it doesn't. Sometimes when you go out to bid, they're less. So, if you get to $2 million in 2 years, you're going to be spending a lot of money quickly. That's a pretty heavy lift. Quite honestly, to get $2 million a year to catch it up. So.
Okay, is that it?
That's all?
We will move on to, okay. 10.3, tax budget to be approved by the board and due to be filed by January 15th, 2014 with the Warren County Budget Commission. Mr. Porter?
Yes, just a heads up that that's coming. The template I've been provided calls for first half of fiscal year 14 to be actual, so we actually will be closing the books 1st of January to finalize that. The tax budget is an asking document. It will not track or parallel the 5-year forecast. You just heard that we have definite needs that are planned over 5 years. We would ask for monies to do more of that in the next fiscal year in case the pipeline or other revenues become available. That tax budget is your asking document. If you don't ask, you won't get it if it should come through. So that's why I wanted to set the stage, and the new board will have that to deal with at the reorganizational meeting to approve that and send it to the tax budget. Then he'll certify back at the budget commission, the auditor sits as the point person on that, will certify back to you, this is all the money that your voted taxes will bring you this year based upon the latest values he has. And then from there, you will accept the rates and May, I believe it is, to be effective. The county operates on a calendar year, where schools are on a fiscal year, July to June. So hence, we're different than all the other government agencies that haven't started ours in January. And he's talking about year 15, that he doesn't know all the values yet. So. But that's the process, so I just wanted to set the stage that the asking document will reflect, hey, if we get these monies, we can use them to accelerate our permanent needs. And if we don't, we get what we vote.
Well, they're not here to hear what they're up to.
Pardon?
I said
Sounds good to me.
the next board, yeah, sounds good to me, whatever. Let's cut that short.
Sounds good to me too. My last one, I'm out of here
It's a
too.
yes.
And I'm gonna leave that budget right in the middle of the desk. She and I are talking in the hallway.
Leave it on the edge of the desk.
Okay, so we're good.
Enthusiasm a little low.
Maybe they'll watch the video and they can learn about it there. 10.4, public participation on work session agenda items. Is there anyone who would like to speak on an agenda item?
Can I hear more about that committee report?
5?
Since you asked.
Okay,
Yeah, we have
hearing
time.
none. 10.5, discussion. Stop. 10.5, discussion of other business as required. Is there any other business somebody?
I wanted to ask, did we get that gifted grant? I thought we were finding out December 17th or the 21st or something for that STEM replication of some.
Straight A.
Yeah.
Grant? No.
No?
No,
We haven't heard or we didn't get it?
we did not get it. No.
Who beat us?
No. There were 3 schools in the area. Yeah.
$3 million of iPads.
At Beaver Creek?
Yep.
Wow.
The controlling board approved disbursement of money this week. Now, there's another round coming.
Yes, there's
What do we
additional
need to
rounds.
get?
Well, I say we look at their application and see what they did. Can we get a copy of
That's what
theirs?
we're-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to propose.
Got somebody on the inside who will slip you the proposal?
Well, they hired outside evaluators to go through it all and put some kind of scoring system in, supposedly. And I don't know, well, you read the matrix or something with
Outside
different than
evaluators.
usual outside the box.
To evaluate the grade A grants.
So,
They
so that's an
had-
outside contractor?
They had outside people. I don't know who they were.
Did they know them? No.
One of our treasurer applicants had on their resume that they were a straight A fund evaluator. I don't think we hired the wrong treasurer, but she was a current county auditor and worked in the county auditor's office and sometimes be the that we can tap to evaluate those things.
Interesting.
All right, well, next time.
Nope, yeah, but I'm glad you asked. You're good at those dates. Glad you asked. Well, next time. Is that it? Any other business?
Yeah, are we talking about special audit? Or are we talking about that here? Because I have some raised concerns that, I don't know how many times I could raise them, but I will not participate in signing the management letter for our district audit until I see some resolution to the items that I keep reading from the state auditor's office in a letter that was sent recently, that they've been asked to do something. And I was under the impression we begged and asked, so I'm trying to figure out how we encourage a very thorough evaluation and maybe ahead of our new treasurer or in conjunction with our new treasurer to kind of give her a slate that is not a slate of any, I mean, we've always had reasonably good audits, so there's not a fiscal issue, but there are findings that I'm uncomfortable with that don't seem to be cleared up. It's not about whether we have money in the right way or the wrong way, it's about procedures, practices, and personnel. And quite frankly, I don't see resolution, and I'm not even liking the letter that's gonna be in our audit as a finding. I think that needs to be either removed, a positive, cleaned up, something. So the first year I was here, I took it for granted that we had, first board meeting, we had to sign this management letter, we had to do it quick. After being here 2 years and seeing the operational things that the team and the administration has dealt with, and knowing that Al's done a great job and our team and our staff have done a great job, so this isn't about anything about our current staff, but I am very I'm very, like to be very adamant to figure out how we either get the state auditor to tear back into all the way to 2011 and start coming up with something and come with a conclusion versus just give us something that kind of says nothing. And it leaves me feeling like I can't sign. I won't sign the management letter this year until I get some resolution. I didn't see a resolution. Unless I read the letter wrong, I didn't see a resolution.
Well, the audit by the state has been released, so it's out there.
So there are certain public documents that people can ask for and get. And one is the audit that the state just released, the state audit report for the district.
It's on the website, yes.
It's on our website,
Well, it's on state auditor's website.
state auditor's website. Okay, and that should probably be published on ours as well, correct?
Everything that was emailed to us can be released.
Everything that was emailed to us.
There was the management letter, and then there was also the letter to the board and I that gave a synopsis straight from.
So anybody that asks can get all these documents that we have gotten
Yes, that was,
from the auditor's office.
I did question that in email today, and that's what the auditor said.
So they're all public documents.
Correct.
And I guess what you're saying is you still have difficulties because there's some unanswered or unfinished investigations.
According to my understanding, Uric or whatever, our audit firm, performed its audit and the state auditor released the audit. Within that letter, there, in my opinion, are inconclusive findings and statements by the state auditor that they weren't asked to run additional procedures. They weren't directed to come up with really any conclusions. It's like paragraph 3 of their letter. I thought we asked for the state auditor to come in and conclude something, either yes, no, maybe, black, white. So then, if I understand the process, our audit team will issue a letter to the superintendent and the board members that basically says, you understand there's no fraud, there's no misdealings, that everything's been done fine. It's a letter that we have to sign off on as managed. I think we sign off on the letter. I signed off on it last year with Tracy Jarvis, where we had to sign off on the audit letter from a management perspective. Now, if I'm wrong, then I guess we're done. But I know that I've signed off on audits for other organizations that I've been on, where you actually, as the leading board, they ask you to opine that you know there's nothing going on, the practice, everything's fine, and it's a letter that comes and they stick in the file.
Didn't that happen in September?
I did not sign.
No, in September, they sent, they sent me a letter asking that. And, did you sign?
Was there an exit conference prior to September with the auditors, which typically takes place?
There's not been an exit conference because when they ask, other things were requested. And like Mr. Petroni said, and I'll tell you, I mean, of all the things I've had to deal with, this one, with the level of bullying, intimidation that's taken place, because people think I've addressed it in certain ways, it's been the worst in my experience here as superintendent over this very issue. So the bottom line is the information that they asked for, they didn't address.
Well, what was sent to me was the management letter, in addition to the audit being released, which cited some policies that we need to make sure we follow in the future.
Right.
I am aware of something else that didn't come to me, and I've never seen that done, so I don't know what it means. I've not had a copy in my hands, but I've talked to Todd a little bit about what went. Did it go to all the board members or two, or just you and him?
So what was that? What are you
There was
referring
a
to?
second letter that came out.
Anything that was sent to me, I did send to all board members. So if you received it from me, they received it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, typically, as a board member, we're supposed to sign off on the management procedures thing that we're opining to and we agree. I mean, that's typically what the audit firm, so I haven't met with our auditors. I think the meeting we have is the auditors of state that I
Right.
made.
Yes.
We've not had an exit,
Yes.
we've not had any exit meeting that I know of that I've been asked to attend with EL, Uric. I apologize that I don't know their
Well,
name.
usually it's the state auditor. See, the auditors are appointed and approved, outside auditors by the state of Ohio auditor. And all audits, regardless of who does them, they submit their.
Right.
And then that's what's released officially. I have not had any conversations with our audit firm, nor the state, other than they did ask me to validate some deposits here 2 or 3 weeks ago, which I did. And sent that back to them. That's the only interaction I've had. So, beyond that,
I don't want to make a big deal of it, but I just don't know if we had any conclusive.
I don't either, and I think that's a good question, because I don't remember, honestly, in 3 other years, signing any kind of audit report. And I just can't remember if it's on the agenda and we approve the audit report. I just know that everything we've gotten is a public document, and
Well,
people
typically
can
they-
request it.
that in the beginning of the audit and at the end, they asked certain folks, I always thought it was the treasurer and superintendent, but that you provided this, all the public documents that you have, and et cetera, and what you're aware of, which I think Mr. Beebe mentioned, and then they did a deeper dive.
They didn't do that.
But whatever, I'm unaware of having to sign, because they are kind of like a police officer, and they've said they've looked at it, and that's what they released. Other than at the beginning, they tell you what documents they want to look at the end, that you, as the official, that you certify you provided them all the public documents that you have.
And perhaps I didn't fully understand, but what I was told is it was outside of the audit window. So all I know is if I have to sign anything, until I get some questions answered, I don't know what there is to sign, because they didn't answer them.
So, Mr. Petroni, are you telling us that there's a section in that management letter where the auditor said we would have done more investigation, however, we weren't asked to do that? Can we just, I guess, have a letter go out with Kelly's signature, maybe Al's signature, to the auditor saying, please
Address A,
complete,
B, C,
yeah,
and D.
yeah,
then-
yeah,
Whatever you
please
said.
address these things
Please go further.
and advise the board.
I think I recall that in talking to an auditor at one point, is that they said they need to be asked. So to do anything outside their scope of an annual audit, the district or people within the district need to direct them, or the board needs to direct them.
Why don't we?
That's
why don't
fine with
we-
me.
I mean, if that resolves the issue, why don't we draft that letter, have maybe Kelly, Todd, and Al
I mean,
sign
it
that?
was paragraph 3 of the management letter. It says that had you been asked to do more, we would have, but we don't have an opinion because we weren't asked.
Maybe that's the missing piece that we need to follow up on.
And maybe there's no more to find. I mean, the good news is if there's nothing to conclude, then that's great.
Yeah, you don't wanna, I'd rather not have an open end.
Well, I'd rather, we're gonna be settling in, I'm looking back over my shoulder here to someone who I believe has very high levels of audit understanding. And so to give whatever support, at least that's what I gleaned from, our interview, and our talking, that, and I'd like to be able to, I think it's time after, going through, again, no accusations anywhere with auditors or anything else. I think it's time that department be one of the departments that actually kind of get looked at all the way back to a point of, 2002, even as board members. You guys probably would like to make sure that if there's something there, that you all kind of, ex-board members, it's kind of signed off and out of the way. At least I know I would. I keep the audits from all 5, every board I'm on, so I know how they're read, and if there's any findings, we were responsible theoretically as a policy board for the findings that we have to then help the staff and the administration apply to. So I would like to see that, and if it meant that they have to engage into a special audit or something, or whatever they do at the state to come in and do it for, I don't care. Whatever it is, I just would like to address that question in that audit letter. So if that's,
We can do that.
okay, that'd be great.
Just authorizing them to go to complete the audit, whatever we were missing before.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what to call it, but it's,
I sent you guys a letter. She resent the letter today, the lady, the auditor's office, but she has another narrative there as well, so I just sent it. I just left it.
there's more information.
It's not more, it's the same, however, she gives a little bit more information about something.
So the paragraph in the audit letter from Dave Yost, Auditor of State, dated December 12, 2013, says, "We were not engaged to and did not conduct an audit, the objective of which would be the expression of an opinion of the district's financial statements in compliance with certain laws and regulations. Accordingly, we do not express an opinion. Had we performed additional procedures, other matters might have come to our attention that would have been reported to." Well, I'm thinking to myself,
I think, David, now that you read it like that, they were investigating coaches camps, and that's it. So the audit firm asked if there were anything else, and that's where it was said, well, here's the only thing I've seen. So from that, I think what they're saying is, we were doing coaches camps, however, through that investigation, we saw other things. So a follow-up with, well, okay, what's these other things to go investigate? It might be the discussion.
that's all I'm asking. If that was something that they just stopped because of whatever reason, it's like we didn't know we could go, I'm saying, go forth and prosper, take it to 2011, take it to whatever year, and when our new auditor shows up, she can at least participate, not participate. That's just my thoughts anyway. I'm not trying to point any fingers, I just want closure.
And I think a lot of it reflected just oversight of policy, which I'm finding when you do send out policy, it can be very painful at times. So needless to say, we do have to follow policy.
Or change the policy if it's not working, but you can't ignore it, right? It's a bad policy, let's fix it, but you can't ignore it. Okay, is that it?
I think so.
Anybody else? Something else? Okay, I need a motion to move into executive session, RC 121.22 G1, to consider the employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. Need a motion to go into executive?
So moved.
Second. So Petroni and Poole?
Question.
What?
Question.
Yes.
Are we going to be talking about the contract this winter?
We're not.
Okay.
I said to put that on there if we needed to, but it's not something we need to discuss. Okay, I've got the motion, but roll call?
Petroni,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Regano,
Yes.
Cole.
Yes. We're gonna take just a 5-minute recess and then come right back in here to